Hello everybody. I'd like to talk about and give you some practical tips for getting ready for Pesach. Pesach is a time, it can be a beautiful time for educating our children, of bringing the family together and doing great things with the education of our children, with ourselves, and to enjoy ourselves. That's the time of the holidays. But because of all the pressure involved, sometimes it can become a difficult time. It can become a difficult time for parents because of the holidays, and it can become a difficult time because of the pressure of all the cleaning and all the work that needs to be done in preparing for Pesach. So I'd like to give you some ideas about how maybe to make the whole thing a little bit easier and a bit more enjoyable. Eizu chacham haroeh et hanolad. Who is a clever person? Someone who plans ahead, someone can see what's coming. So get ready. Plan in advance for Pesach. Don't let it surprise you at the last minute. Everyone's going to be starting cleaning probably after Purim. People with a large house have a lot of work to do. You must remember one of the most important rules: dust is not chametz. Okay? Dust is not chametz. You want to clean the dust? Great. But dust is not necessarily chametz. Okay, so as far as your obligation for Pesach is concerned, it doesn't necessarily include all the dust. People who have large houses are going to have a lot of work to do when they're checking for their chametz on the eve of Pesach. So one idea is that when you've cleaned a room, you would maybe on that, Rav Moshe Feinstein suggests this, you would do a quick check with a torch in the evening to make sure, without making a bracha, to make sure that there's no chametz there. You're checking, and then close the room up. From now on, no one is going to be taking any more chametz into that room. It's a place where there's no more chametz, and there's no obligation to check it now on the night of when all the rest of the chametz, the house is being checked for chametz. You've now smallened down the size of your house, and you're going to have less pressure on you on the eve of Pesach to check for chametz. If you have little children at home, that's not really going to work, because they'll be running around everywhere with pieces of chametz until the last minute, and that's not really going to help you. Okay? Start cleaning well in advance. Get everything organized. Plan the utensils that you're going to be needing for Pesach. If you're going to be needing pots and pans and they're going to be needing to be koshered, get that sorted out. If you want to buy new pots and pans, new things, a new blender, a new mixer, get organized and get these things well in advance. Make a count of what you're going to be needing and what not. If there are utensils that you're not sure how to kosher them, or if you can kosher them, so ask a rabbi. Look it up in a book. There are plenty of books on Pesach these days. You can look up most things, and then you can check it with a rabbi to make sure that you're right. If you're going to be traveling for Pesach, you have to remember in advance to sell your chametz before you travel, to sell it to the rabbi, your local rabbi. Now this can be done online. It can be very easily dealt with. But you need to make sure you've sold your chametz if you're going away, or you've worked out what you're going to be doing with it. Don't forget it, and don't leave it until the last minute. On the eve of Pesach, make sure that you rest well. Let the children rest well. Make sure everyone's rested to enjoy the evening to its full. The worst thing you want is to get to the Seder night and everyone is just falling down. Make sure that everyone's rested and has got the strength to enjoy this beautiful evening. Make sure that you have ways of entertaining the children. The Seder night can go on for a long time, and the children can get bored, and we need to keep them interested. Have sweets around, have cookies around, not cookies, no chametz of course. Have sweets, have candies around, all sorts of things to keep the children interested. Maybe little gifts here and there for things that they might say and things that they might do. Keep them interested, keep them alive, and keep them awake, and keep them interested. And don't go on for too long. If you go on for too long, you're going to lose a lot of the people that are sitting around the table listening to you. It's certainly a time that people very often have a lot to say, and say it, but maybe wait until the food comes and then say it. The Haggadah is quite long. Let's get through it. Let's get to the meal. Let everyone enjoy their meal, and then start saying the things you've been waiting to say to everybody for the Seder night. Take time off from work if you can. Get new clothes. Organize things so that you've got the best utensils on your table and you've got the new clothes and everyone is feeling good. New clothes make everyone feel happy and fresh. That's always a great idea to make things good for the Seder night. Measure out the amounts of matzah that you're going to be needing for each mitzvah so that you don't have to fumble around working out how much matzah to give to each person. Make sure you've got enough wine. Make sure you've got enough of the maror, of the vegetables, and measure things out beforehand so you know how much you're supposed to be giving to each person. And another piece of advice, I heard from, in the name of Shmuel Salant, that they asked him when they go to bake matzahs, what should they be specially careful of? And he told them, be careful not to shout. There's one of the workers in the factory is a widow, and if you shout at her, she'll start crying. That don't do. That's the worst thing that you can do. So we should learn the lesson from that we have to keep things calm on the Seder night. No pressure, no getting angry, no getting upset. Let things go smoothly, let things go well, and may we all have a beautiful Seder night. Thank you very much.